Okay, our group presentation is all about drumming for wellness. This would take place at a senior citizen activity center. We did use Sarah's location that she got to observe, but we kind of created our own curriculum for Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the people in my group are Sarah Adkins, Kim Atherton, and myself, Courtney Charlton. We also listed what class this was for, the methods of teaching for adult education, and we're going to basically talk about why drumming, especially for senior citizens, is beneficial for mental, emotional, and even physical health. So it's never too late to upgrade. We have lots of different pictures of young to old people engaging in what we call cardio drumming. So this is where there's a bucket or a trash can with some sort of exercise ball, or you can just use the top of a trash can. You can also see that there are even some children who are able to partake in cardio drumming. So it's for all ages. We're just specifically looking at the elderly population. So it can be indoor, outdoor. You can be very innovative with what tools you decide to use for cardio drumming. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why it's beneficial, how you do it, where you can access it, all different kinds of things. Here for our next slide, we are going to talk about our learning objectives. So as a result of this course, our students are going to be able to, number one, illustrate an understanding of the proper body mechanics recommended to prevent injury. This is very important because we want our students to be safe, but also benefit from the different body movements for their physical health. Number two, we have our identify the benefits of exercise and weight resistance programs on long-term health. And then our objective number three, articulate the mental and social health benefits from regularly participating in an exercise program. We really want our students to be able to identify why cardio drumming is good for your mental health, social health, and physical health, all for our senior citizen population. So by the end of this course, students should be able to master all three of these objectives. The methods we decided to use for our cardio program classes were, number one, coaching, facilitating, and mentoring. Number two, self-paced instruction. And number three, online tutorials. All of these different methods we thought would be beneficial for our students with our particular activity and the curriculum that we've created pretty much for the cardio drumming. The first method we're going to talk about is coaching, facilitating, mentoring, and why it's important specifically for cardio drumming. So coaching, facilitating, and mentoring. The teaching method of coaching was selected for this course as health coaches act as facilitators and companions to remind clients to follow proper exercise, diet, and medication plans. You can find our reference for this specific information at the end of our presentation on our reference list. Number two, although coaching is a teacher-powered method, it can be flexible and cyclic depending on the coach and the team. In this course, coaches are well diverse to understand each member and how they're entering with their own abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. So it's not just cut and dry. Every student is the same. This is a type of differentiation. So although coaching is teacher-powered, it can be flexible, going back and forth between the student and the teacher with that power dynamic balance. A good coach is adaptable in setting up a cycle of goals, learning goals, and also data observation collection and reflection. All of these are very important to the coaching, facilitating, and mentoring method. We have learned a lot about this in our specific course for adult education, and coaching or mentoring is a wonderful tool to use when we are teaching adults and even older adults, because they may be scared to partake in a new activity and they really need that support and that coach compared to a teacher, someone who's walking along side by side with them to learn this new skill that can be beneficial for them in many different ways. The next method we're going to talk about is self-paced instruction. This is very important for adult education because not everyone is able to follow the same fast-paced syllabus or curriculum because they are already working or they have other obligations that they need to meet. So, for example, here are a few other reasons why self-directed learning is important. It's an intricate concept that should not be approached from just one perspective. A lot of different concepts go into self-directed learning: self-monitoring, goal setting, self-management, and then collaboration between student to student, student to teacher. There are a lot of different aspects that go into self-directed learning. It requires individuals to take initiative and responsibility for their own learning, own goal setting, their own time management, and how they work with others. That's why we kind of use the graphic of the calendar. You're setting your own goals, your own timeline, in moving through the course at your own pace that works for you. This goes along with the flexibility and how self-directed learning can take place both inside and outside of formal educational institutions, so at home learning or in the classroom. This can also be great to use when face-to-face learning is not feasible, such as during the pandemic when we had to do remote learning. This course can be in the classroom or in the social setting of a senior citizen center, but also it can be done at home, depending on what kind of curriculum you're using or the different tools and methods. In our case, we're using videos and simulations, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that in our upcoming slides. I also want to touch on when teachers are involved, they should be facilitators of learning, not transmitters. Again, this goes along with walking side by side, teacher and student learning together. Another method we decided to use is online tutorials. It was selected as a supplemental method for this course. And number one, it's informative. Number two, it offers flexibility in regards to geography and therefore provides for easy transition from face-to-face learning to hybrid or completely online. We really want this to be flexible and work best for the student and their circumstances and going at their own pace. It can be completed at one's own pace and can be created by individuals who are experts in the field and utilized for this class even though they may be miles away. So again, it can be done in a formal educational setting with face-to-face student and teacher, but also in the remote setting or even a hybrid setting where sometimes the class is face-to-face, sometimes the class is online, depending on the student's needs and also the teacher's flexibility with the course. Here we have a few different online tutorials as a method for teaching. All of them can be found on YouTube, and they are different videos for proper mechanics, also for stretching, and just different types of tutorial videos that allows the student to watch the video, learn the proper mechanics, and then copy them in a way where they are safe and also benefiting from the cardio drumming or the stretching or whatever exercise the students are doing. We're moving on from our teaching methods to our teaching tools. We have games, simulation, and videos. We incorporated all three of these tools. We felt strongly that games were very interactive and hands-on, along with simulations. So in order to have our students reach their learning objectives, they're going to be using these different interactive tools such as games, simulations, and videos. We found all three of these to be beneficial for our own learning as adults and wanted to transfer that into our teaching by using all three teaching tools in different ways to really grasp those learning objectives. So we're going to talk about our first tool. That is going to be games. Exhale, inhale, give me a beat, and why not? This next game video can be found on Facebook. It is a group of senior citizens partaking in cardio drumming, and the specific game is Give Me a Beat, and the teacher is demonstrating what beat they want the students to copy. So they'll give them a few different types of demonstrations, different beats, and then they will all follow along, kind of similar to like a Simon Says, but a little bit more structured and competitive. So whoever can follow along with the beat and copy what the instructor is doing is more likely to win, quote unquote, the game of back and forth between teacher and student. So again, it's similar to teacher says, student does, following directions and copying the beat correctly. This is also demonstrating for the students how to correctly use the tools and also using the different sides of their brain to connect their body and their movements. Next up for tools is simulation. This can be computer simulations, modeling, virtual simulations. It's very flexible depending on how you want to use it. We are specifically using simulations for modeling correct body movements, techniques, safety. Simulation-based experiential learning is great for adult learners because it actively engages them in the learning process. Adults are more motivated to learn relevant facts or real-life situations. Simulation is great for this because it is in a safe and controlled setting. So before the student would try the actual cardio drumming with the ball and the drumsticks, they would be able to put on a virtual reality or VR headset, which also comes with handheld motion sensors as well. So this specific one is called the Oculus, the one that we see pictured here in the graphic on the right side and also on the bottom. This would allow for intentional practice and repetition of skills so the student can improve their abilities and strengthen their expertise before they go out to do the actual skill with the real cardio drumming tools. This would kind of build up their confidence before they try this new type of exercise. As you can see at the bottom, there is a YouTube video link there is a specific game or virtual simulation called Smash Drums. This is similar to Guitar Hero or Rock Band. It goes along with different songs, different beats, different tutorials, and it shows you how to properly move your arms and your hands, how to sit, to basically learn how your body is moving in a way that's benefiting you physically and mentally by being mentally stimulated, seeing, okay, I'm using my right hand for the green arrows and my left hand for the red arrows. So whenever I see one of those, I have to pretend I'm hitting the ball with my drumsticks, or if I need to cross them over. These are all different types of simulations. Next step for our tools is using videos. We all personally love using videos. Most teachers that I know do as well. It is a fantastic learning tool for students to watch someone else present the information, but also have something visually stimulating as well as auditorily. So that way you have two different learning styles where you're reaching more students. It's easier to watch someone and then do something, so that's why we chose videos as one of our tools. And the video is specifically for a senior citizen center partaking in cardio drumming, where you can see some of the residents there with their drumsticks and their exercise balls getting to engage in this specific activity. Video as a complementary educational tool was selected because, number one, it enhances the quality of teaching and learning in the classroom. Two, because the number of students that can be reached is unlimited. Once you post it on the internet, it's there for thousands, millions of people to see and learn and follow along with. Number three, it can be used for multiple classes over an extended time period. As a remote teacher, in the past, I have used videos that I have made year after year to teach my other students. So this is a great example of using it for an extended period of time. Once you put in the work initially, you can use it later on over and over again for the same course and curriculum. It also provides flexibility since students can easily make up work if absent. They watch the video, we're able to get caught up on what they missed. It also allows for easy transition to hybrid or fully remote learning. Again, it can go from strictly face-to-face, hybrid where some of the class is online, some of the class is in a formal setting with the teacher and the student, but also fully remote where you could watch the video and then do a Zoom call or a Google Meet and practice with the teacher after watching the instructional video. So far we've talked about the different methods, tools, and now we're going to touch on the assessments of student learning. Number one, our students will work in groups of 2 to 3 learners to create a life-size collage demonstrating proper body mechanics for an exercise skill of their choice to be displayed in a gallery walk for peers to review. Assessment number 2, each student will demonstrate understanding of their importance of exercise on physical, emotional, and social well-being by actively participating in classroom games and simulations. Number 3 assessment, students will maintain a health journal, which they can complete weekly self-assessments, identifying the mental and social health benefits of participating in a routine physical fitness program. So the first 2 assessments will be done at the end of the course, but also could be included quarterly as well, depending on how long the course is. And the third one would be ongoing from beginning to end of the course to kind of see the growth physically, mentally, and emotionally through the health journal. It's a really important aspect of assessment to show that growth from the beginning to the end, not only for the teacher but also for the student to have a physical copy of all of the different skills that they learned throughout the course. It will also serve as an assessment because the teacher will be able to review where the student started at the beginning of their journal, the middle, and the end of their journal to make sure that they are logging their experience throughout the course to show their growth. Our next assessment is the wall collage. This is where the students would have to identify their proper body placement, locate their center of gravity, mark a potential twist point, locate your support base, mark your line of gravity, and also locating your bend location. These collages would then form some sort of masterpiece. They would be up around the classroom or the learning room and will be posted for the adult learner to walk around and be able to complete each of these skills at that specific collage. So each student would be assigned a certain skill to show and for the other students to walk around and complete. This is a great way for the teachers to do sort of an informal assessment or a formative assessment, where they can watch the students engage in these specific skills and potentially grade them or critique them to better their understanding of how to complete a certain exercise or movement in a safe and beneficial way. We also have the collages to assess learning for the educator to see if the student can take the material out and apply a visual interpretation from what they see and feel. Again, that goes along with being able to complete each skill station and moving on to the next one to show what they're learning or what they might need to relearn or a different learning directive. Our final assessment tool will be using a specific game. It's a web-based game called Blook It. Can be played on the computer, an iPhone, a tablet, whatever source of technology you prefer. This can be done in a live classroom setting, or it can be done in a remote or hybrid setting where you assign it as a type of homework link where they can join from at home, and the educator will still be able to receive the scoring from the student as they're playing the game. So Blook It is set up as a learning platform. It's built to combine quiz-style questions and answers with fun skill games for students. I specifically use this in the classroom weekly for formative and summative assessments. The teacher can also create their own content based on specific questions or learning targets or objectives. This specific Blook It that I found is all about cardio drumming. So there are sources that you can pull from that are already made by teachers for teachers. Work smarter, not harder. I do also like to create Blook It assessments because they are fun and interactive. The questions also repeat during the game, and you can also pick different formats. There are Fishing Frenzy, Cafe, and Blook It Rush. All of these are different themed games that have a little bit different learning styles and just different activities that you do in order to answer the questions and learn the specific skills that are being targeted. In this case, you can see down there on question 4, there are different answer choices. So you can see which one is the correct answer and which one is the wrong answer. Most of them also come with pictures, so you are able to use your picture clues as well, depending on how the content was created. Blook It is really one of my favorite ways to assess because you're almost assessing the students without them knowing that you're assessing them. They're doing it in a fun and structured and controlled environment with specific questions and answers. It grades it for you. You have live feedback of percentages of questions answered correctly, and incorrectly by the whole group, then it also has a breakdown at the end of specific students, their name, and what percentage of answers they got correct or incorrect. That way you can kind of see, oh, so-and-so or these group of students need more instruction on this specific skill or concept. It really helps you to direct your future learning and for more formal assessments in the future to see exactly what skills you need to reteach or teach in a different way. Look at Overall is really just a great assessment tool overall in all aspects for formal, informal, whatever you might need it to be. The last assessment I'm going to talk about is the My Health Journal. This is the one that the student will start at the beginning of the course and be dictating notes, emotions, physical feelings, mental health feelings. It's going to hit on all aspects of the whole person, how they feel at the beginning of the course and at the end, the different skills that they've learned, and kind of documenting, oh, when I did this skill, I felt this way. When I tried this other skill, I felt a different way. That way they can go back and kind of do a self-assessment on their mental, emotional, social, and physical health. Also turning this in to the instructor gives the instructor kind of a very intimate overview of what specifically each student has taken away from the course. This could be beneficial not only for the student to see their growth, but also for the instructor to kind of do a self-evaluation for themselves. What are some things that all of the students had in common that they liked? Or maybe what is something all of the students had in common that didn't work well for them? Maybe my instructions or expectations were unclear. The student journals were selected as an assessment tool because they can be used to examine student learning in the affective and cognitive domains. It provides a non-threatening means for students to communicate their knowledge and feelings about the course to their teacher. This ties into our last slide about the 21st century learner. All of these different character traits, we'll call them, go into all of the skill-based learning that we want to take place. So oral and written communication skills, flexibility, information literacy, citizenship, creativity, imagination, all of these different traits can also be transmitted to our learning objectives or transferred to our learning objectives. We want all of these skills to play together in order to create the most effective outcome for learning our specific objectives. We want our students to be able to have initiative and motivation and using their social skills and using collaboration and teamwork, just like we're doing for this group project. Here we see all of our different references that we've used from published journal articles ranging from 2021 to 2011. There is a lot of information that we sifted through in order to find specific journal articles related to drum exercises, different beneficial stretching and squatting mechanics. A lot of different exercise journal articles are out there. We just had to find the specific ones pertaining to cardio or drumming and the mental, social, emotional, and physical health benefits. The way our group decided to collaborate together was, one, to have different Google Meet sessions to divvy up our different objectives, methods, tools, and assessments. So for collaboration, we worked together to select the venue. and we went with Sarah's. That was the most broad and relevant topic that we wanted to dive in a little bit deeper and learn more about the benefits ourselves in order to teach the course. So we divided the topics into 3 groups and assigned different slides to be created according to the groups. So below you can see what Sarah accomplished, what Courtney, myself accomplished, and Kim accomplished as well. We all really enjoyed working together. We found it very easy, and all were very flexible with adding things in, taking things out, proofreading, and just kind of building each other up while we were using our method of Adobe Express. So we decided to go with Adobe Express because it had so many creative options for us to use. So we really enjoyed being able to use that. And then to make the video, I downloaded everything from Adobe Express into iMovie in order to lengthen the slides and add the voiceover. I really hope you enjoyed learning about our class, Drumming for Wellness.